UT, the first ban going to be Sasano, played a pretty big part in the game that we just saw. Having a pretty good outing. I don't think either team wants to mess with that in this particular set. Banana Boys starting out with the first pick and on order side. The response ban is going to be Osiris. I think Bologna needs to be banned out by them as well if they don't want Banana Boys to pick that up on their end. But this could be used to their advantage because they banned out that Osiris. I think banning out the Bologna would put them at a disadvantage, which would give a little bit more power to SWT to choose what they can get in their hands. So I think ban out something like a Medusa or Kernernos. Try and see if you can't force them to ban the Bologna or let you have it.
That is, yeah, these mind games for who's picking up first. You know, what do you want to let through? What don't you want to let through? You have to be very aware of it. I mean, the first pick, if the Bologna isn't banned here, is obviously going to be the Bologna. But there's still other guides that you might know or have seen Banana Boys play that give you cause for pause. Like, we've seen the Kali go rampage in every game she's been in. So that's another possible start. But the Bologna.
The Bologna is definitely something both teams are talking about right now. They opted to ban the Chunga and leave the chance up to SWT to see if they can't slip up and either let Bologna through or let another very good player through. So interesting to see what SWT is going to respond with here. Bologna, just the name of the game right now, didn't win the game for Guile Esports this last set. However, maybe this set it'll have more of a winning tune to it, which is definitely being discussed on the side of SWT going into their bank time to discuss that.
I mean, they're going heavily into this bank time here. Just for this last ban. I mean, the first few picks set the tone, and they let the Bologna through, and Bologna insta-locked in.
Bologna instantly going to make it through. I think the Hades ban, an intelligent ban, you don't want to see that going to mid lane against your mid. I don't think Hades is ban worthy, but when there are so many high tier characters on the table right now for both teams to pick up, Carnard is going to be the response, and I think they're okay with that. Let Bologna through and see if you can't put your solo laner. I'm pretty sure Japan Gator is their solo laner, but see if you can't grab a good solo laner to go at least even or ahead against that Bologna. I think a Chalk could be picked up here, or even something like a Nike, who I don't think does terribly against a Bologna, but Poseidon also going to be locked in. So two very, very good characters in their own respect going to be immediately locked in on the side of SWT. So I don't mind the Bologna being let through as long as they get good characters, but I still think banning out the Osiris was their first mistake. You don't want to put yourself in a situation where you might not get one of the best solo laners in the game only because you made a mistake in the banning phase. The next two picks coming out of Banana Boys is being thought out here. Looks like they're going to be delving into some bank time as well. Lots of thought by both teams. Both teams wanted to stay on the right track here. I think SWT a little bit unfavored in this matchup by the general consensus. However, Banana Boys locking in Ganesha and Soul, two of the arguably best characters in their individual roles. Ganesha providing so much to the team, providing so many hard counters to characters like Odin, who can't do any damage with their leap, or forcing a Bacchus out of burp. Interesting plays can be made out of Ganesha and Soul. Just such a good mid laner right now. Amaterasu going to be hovered on by Japan Gator. I think a character that can do very well against the Bologna. That dash has the silence, and I think if utilized properly, that could come into play easily.
It's all about timing there, Tyner. It's all about the skill of the solo laner there.
Yes.
A good solo laner will be able to do it. However, if you're overconfident in your abilities, if you overjudge yourself, if you doubt yourself with this Ama pick, at any point, you're going to make a mistake, and the Bologna is going to punish you for it.
Absolutely, absolutely, and that's something you have to take into account. Bologna isn't the hardest character. Bologna has a lot to her, but after a couple games, you get everything down. You can play with as much swagger as you want to, and even if you're down, you know how the character works. A character like Amaterasu going up against the Titan that is Bologna, you have to be careful and use your abilities correctly. Don't mess up. Clear the wave. Make sure you stay in rhythm. Otherwise, that Bologna is going to tear through you, and you will regret it. The ban is going to be Kepri, not wanting to see that go into the hands of a team with a Chronodeus, a Poseidon. You don't want those characters to have a second chance at making a play, so I think a pretty smart plan. Pretty smart bans coming out of the side of Banana Boys. The response is going to be Kali and Medusa from SWT. Kali, one of Smutty Smurf's more prominent junglers. He didn't first pick it. It wasn't second pick. They decided to let that one slip through, and it's going to get banned and taken out of his hands, but he's very confident in other junglers. However, glad to see that SWT did a little bit of homework and kept that out of his hands. Medusa also going to be banned away. Dodgy now allowed into this league play.
Yeah.
We simply follow the ranked and SPL requirements for that when it comes to gods. So Dodgy is a viable and is a pick here, and going to be hovered on the side of SWT and see if we can't see the premiere of Dodgy into the PS4 league.
No, it's the second game she's been
I
playing.
haven't seen.
She
Oh wow. Well, I didn't
yes,
see it, so we're going to see some more Dodgy play, a character
she
that people are getting their hands on and learning. Trying to figure out where they sit in this meta. Cupid and Ravana both going to be locked in on the side of Banana Boys. I think both characters pretty good. I think there's other characters online in that Hunter role to go up against a character like Kronos, but I also think Cupid is personally, and I've talked about it, he's a pretty good pick up against a Kronos. He does good. He does great damage. His clear isn't terrible, and with that buff to his passive with the attack speed, he's much more viable in a boxing match. And his heal is obviously sustain in lane is so big right now. Cupid, a little underrated, I think. And with that cripple, you're going to be able to hold Kronos still, at least for a little while, and his ultimate won't be able to bail him out of that. Only prevent his death or get the lanes back into an even matchup. But I think all around the board, every single lane is going to have a pretty even matchup. I can't tell you. I think the solo lane is going to be the most interesting. Bologna, I think, at level 1 is going to have a lot better clear than that Amaterasu. I think Poseidon is going to have a lot better clear in that mid lane on that soul. So it's wish-washy for both teams. It's going to be interesting to see how these junglers respond to that and try and get the advantage to their team.
just thinking about this out loud here. I mean, just talking out loud, but Dodgy didn't do so well in her first debut. I mean, it's really hard to judge a god in the league, how they're going to do in the league, because of how varying the skill differential is. But
Sure.
the junglers, like we said, are all very competent from what we've seen. I mean, there's been like a few bad games and a few good
Sure.
games, but most consistently, the jungles have outperformed the rest of their teammates, getting those kills and etc. I mean, but there's been exceptions. Like I believe in your game against Cuddly, your jungle did, but you did fantastic.
Yeah, and it just
Right?
depends on what a team is prioritizing, especially when it comes to vision. If your team has bad vision, if you're not warding correctly, if you're not keeping your eyes on objectives, a jungler is going to eat you alive, as their number one job is simply to not be seen, to surprise you with an attack, to get tactics, to group up with people, to go down the lanes least expected, and without the proper warding, those kinds of tactics are going to eat you alive. The jungler is going to be almost every single time part of it. So you're right, in this league so far, with these growing pains that we're seeing with teams trying to get better, this warding situation that a lot of teams haven't quite picked up on is going to give other teams an advantage. And I think coming into the fall league especially, and all these scrimmages and everybody learning and getting better, and teams going through their own personal growing pains, we're going to see junglers start to drop off a little bit. I think that jungle role is going to start to even out and stabilize. Characters like Sasano, who are pretty good right now, could get a little bit less favorable, as with proper vision, somebody like Sasano, yeah, he hurts and he's pretty dang good in team fight, pretty dang good in a gank, but if you see him coming, he can only do so much. So we'll definitely see some meta changes, but for right now, with the jungle being such a prominent role in this league, you're absolutely right. They're just outperforming everybody else on the map right now, and it's such a prominent role you want to have in the advantage of your team, which is why I think this Dodgy pickup is probably what they're going for here. Try and get a character that they think they can use very well to take out another team and make that Ravana jungle not so favorable.
I mean, just thinking about it, just like from what we've seen. I mean, that's why we made that tier list from what we've seen, the average abilities of the things, etc. I mean, I mean, to look at sidetrack, I love the controversy it caused. It's just so interesting seeing so many people's opinions collide. I love it. I love how everyone has a very loud voice, even though I get pretty annoyed sometimes. But yeah, thinking about it, I just can't wait to see how Dodgy does here. SWT's jungler has been performing very well, but the Ravana jungle has just been phenomenal in the league. It's been picked very often and been used consistently to do lots of damage, to secure lots of kills, and to really cause a steamroll in the on the team that whoever has it, you know.
Sure, and I agree with that 100%.
Although taking it like a new god that actually has lots of complexity at rank 2, I don't think Nitty has enough time to really master that Dodgy. Dodgy's can be complicated at times. You have to really.
She's interesting, and you do have to think about your positioning, what actives you have online, and how they could respond to you at all times. Dodgy is not hard to kill. If you can catch Dodgy out, and she doesn't have a teammate to teleport to, she's as immobile as the worst of them. She's essentially an Anubis, except she can go up on that pillar and not be touched, but if used correctly, she will destroy a backline in seconds, and it makes a team turn their heads, and a character like Dodgy will force a team to respond to her, and I think that's something very valuable, and if SWT utilizes it to its full potential, I think this game is going to be really, really rough for Banana Boys, but Banana Boys, in their own respects, are so good themselves, so I think this is definitely going to be an interesting game. I want to see Switch Gaming get some traction in their block and start pumping some wins out, and that starts by knocking Banana Boys off of their pedestal.
I mean, at the beginning of the season, I don't think Switch Gaming was very
Absolutely
good.
not. And I think
SWT
SWT knew that they didn't have the footing and traction that they optimally wanted to have. So taking characters like Dodgy into account and picking it into a game and starting to be confident, trying to just make a pick to make a statement and start off strong. Going to do my usual introduction here. Smutty Smurf is going to be reprising his role in the jungle as Ravana, McNugget the Cat in the mid lane as Soul California, with a K in the Soul lane as Bellona, Bears Fan in the duo lane as Cupid, partnered with Dark Visions as Ganesha. On the side of Switch Gaming, we have Japan Gator going head to head with California using Amaterasu, Nitty 145 in the jungle as one of the newest gods to Smite. Dodgy, I'm Gabs as Geb in the duo lane, going to be partnered with Stuns, OTF on the Kernanus, a pretty powerful lane, and a Booby Black Gunna going to be in the mid lane as Poseidon. Go for it.
As an experienced player, how would you say Dodge's wave clear is compared to other assassins? I personally think it's pretty good compared.
Yes, it is.
Susano's up there with the damage, but she's up there as well, and I think she's a little bit more scary than Susano.
I think with the first ability usually being, I need to get the ability name down, but the thing that is in a circular, kind of half circle, swipe, 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 the four thingies, whatever it's called, I'm not going to try and guess the name, but it makes her very mobile, it makes her hard to hit, and she can go clear a wave and then walk away. With the Bluestone proc on top of it, I think she does have pretty good early clear, and I'm surprised to see Switch Gaming not try and get the early advantage here between a Poseidon and a Dodgy. I think your early clear is way better than you're playing, but actually Nitty 145 in a bit of trouble here, pushed up a little bit too far. The Bracer going to come through and keep him alive. I don't think he would have died. The auto attacks weren't coming from from McNugget the Cat to try and grab that, but still unfortunate for them that had to happen. And gripping up right now, the first speed buff of the game going the way of Banana Boy is able to take Switch Gaming's away from them.
And the ability you were talking about is 1,000 cuts, and it certainly hurts late game.
Absolutely. You just teleport into the backline and you use that ability. You press 2 buttons and the backline is already at a quarter HP, and she still has other abilities online, plus a bleed that will do all that damage over time. So I think Dodgy could be crazy good in a team fight as well as in a 1 versus 1 scenario if used correctly. So I'm hoping to see Switch Gaming make good use of her and really show her off to the rest of the community and see if maybe she doesn't become a top ban, top pick possibly, but we'll just have to see.
I mean, Dodgy, I think once Susano hits that nerf, she's gonna rock it. She's gonna rock it. I mean, with Susano's passive now gonna be on a tick time.
The first blood gonna actually go to Bears Fan 54. I'm so sorry I wasn't able to go and see that. I know these players want to see their good plays happen, but the Ganesha Cupid lane actually able to take down the Kernanus, so the advantage already going to the side of Banana Boys. Good job by Bears Fan and Dark Visions.
No offense to Stuns OTF, but he's a very, very unsafe player. He's very aggressive, and a lot of times I see him make these mistakes, make these decisions that I just question. Like, not offensively, but I just question as a Smite player. There's a lot of times where he's left in lane alone and someone rotates, and he still pushes up. Like, he's been consistently rotated on, and I don't know what it's gonna take for him to learn that that rotations are real, is what I feel. I don't feel like
I think just trying to get their groove in this dual lane. I'm not sure what the synergy is between Stuns and I'm Gabs, but you really, I think being aggressive on a Kernanus is how you should play. I think it just didn't work out for him, and he probably just made a big mistake that got him killed for that first blood. But still, I agree with you. This early game, being so aggressive, you have to do it very calculated and very well if you don't want to give up something like a first blood to a character like Cupid who can snowball and be such a monster in these early team fights and middle of the game team fights as well.
I mean, a Ceranos that knows how to be passive and aggressive, it knows when to go, when to leave, is scary because you're not going to catch him. He has a dash,
Sure.
he has a slow, he has a lifesteal, he has the extra damage. He has the tools for the situation.
Absolutely, I think Carnonos is the best hunter in the game right now by far. Other hunters compare, but if used correctly, Carnonos is just a force to be reckoned with. You can't really win a matchup against Carnonos. He has so many tools and abilities online that he can combo together to keep you away from him and the damage from him to hit you. So, going to be interesting to see how the rest of that lane matches up. But Bears fan 54 already with that advantage, getting that first blood.
No, see, Tyner, what you don't understand is that there's a secret, super secret SS tier hunter that I haven't told you about.
Who is it?
It's even better than Ceranos. It's Artemis.
Oh, you're right. Return of the Artemis. I think we'll see some Artemis play for sure. Hint, hint. I like Artemis.
And for everyone that just face-palmed or whatever
it's
you guys
are
doing, it was a joke.
Booby Black gonna use that ultimate, gonna get the knock up on a Smutty Smurf. Smutty Smurf in a bit of trouble, but the bracer out of him is gonna negate a lot of the damage that was output onto him. Interesting little engagement here in that jungle, but both teams opting to just back off.
That Amma missed her ult, that's huge. She could have pretty
California
much
coming in, the bludgeon, massive damage. Booby Black gonna go down, the second victim of the game for Banana Boys. I have to remember the name. It says Blue Team.
Yeah, it's really hard. But anyway, so talking about that, if that Amaterasu ultimate had hit, it would have been completely different. It would have put them in the position to get like a triple, possible. There's like 3 people there, a possible triple kill, and that's what it looked like to me with that Amma. The Amma goes in on the full health person, while the Poseidon and the Soul. No, it wasn't Soul. Who was it?
Just missing that ultimate. In short, we can talk about all the possible steers, but in short, missing that stun on the ultimate is what gave Banana Boys full permission to aggress and grab that second kill onto Booby Black Gunna. There was nothing stopping them anymore. That Amaterasu ultimate is nothing they had to fear. So Japan Gator probably a little unhappy with his play right there, but all you can do is recuperate and resettle yourself and try and get back into it. Already a 2,000 gold lead though on the side of Banana Boys, quickly becoming an issue right now for SWT. You want to farm you want to farm a little smarter than you have.
How do you think this Amaterasu is going to be built? Attack speed or just straight up damage?
It's really whatever Japan Gator wants, but I expect to see a Breastplate of Valor, a Gladiator Shield, maybe even possibly even a Masamune, whatever that he wants. He probably wants to get a little more tanky before he starts building any attack speed, but I wouldn't be surprised to see something like a Chin Size or an Executioner or maybe even a Stone Cutting Sword, something to give those auto attacks a little bit more oomph, especially with that passive coming through and giving the extra 10% damage from everybody around. So I think damage and a little bit of defense, probably some pen, is what Japan Gator is going to go for. But if he puts something together that can beat a Bologna, that's what I'd like to see. Big fight going on in that left lane. Bears fan able to get himself another kill. Stuns OTF going to be the next victim. Smutty Smurf able to get himself on the board as well. 4-0 right now for Banana Boys. The Gold Fury is going to be the call right now. I don't think anybody from Switch Gaming realizes this right now. Dark Visions went to go check out the mid lane to see. A little late with that rotation though. That Gold Fury is sitting at 33%. Turning on them now though, and very intelligently so is Banana Boys, not wanting to risk giving Switch Gaming that Gold Fury and wanting to keep their lead at the 2,500 that it is right now. At 3,000,
We've seen some amazing steals. Earlier today we saw a Kemp steal Fire and I was surprised. I was very surprised. But anyone can steal an objective if you're careless. I mean, even if you're ahead by, I don't know, 20 to 0 kills, you gotta respect the other team. If they're there at Fire Giant, that
even
means
the most experienced team needs to respect the ability of the enemy team to respond, and it can turn a game from in your hands to out of your hands. Damn it, SGO. But anyways, back to the game. I need to get on the correct person here.
Dodgy.
I need to go to Dodgy.
She's ulting. She hits it on the Ganesha. Looks like the Ganesha gets pulled, but she's out of the fight now.
Just fights going on in this right jungle right now. Japan Gator, a little bit of damage on him. The knockup from I'm Gabs is going to give him the quick half second it takes for him to walk by them and stay safe. The rollout going to be coming through, but smartly deciding not to go and try and aggress onto that.
What do you think about damage, Gab?
What do I think about it? I don't think it's terrible.
Yeah.
I don't think it's terrible. We might see some of it. I think solo Geb's okay in some situations, but not often, and there's usually something better.
It takes a lot of a very experienced solo laner to play
sure.
Geb.
I mean, Geb isn't hard. The concept of Geb isn't hard, but yes, using him effectively in solo and not getting out cleared early and farming effectively and using his kit to its full potential for sure. Yeah, it takes some experience, but
I've only seen it once in Pro League. I believe it was Deathwalker. But that man's crazy. That man's a madman.
He is a madman. Stuns OTF gonna go down a killing spree for Bears fan. I'm sorry that you're not on the camera, but everybody knows that you're doing very well over in this duo lane right now. 3-0-1 on that Cupid, sitting at 40 stacks already on that Transcendence. Your stuns only
OTF
having
can't feel too good right now.
Absolutely not, and I think it's going to become a quick issue right now as this dual lane quickly snowballing. You have 2 levels and almost a full 1,000 gold on your Hunter above stuns, so I think you need to start cleaning up his play and start making better calls and try and see if you can't get some rotations to come out of mid or the jungle to try and help him out in this lane that is going very, very convincingly on to Bears fan, but still Bears fan in his own right. Absolutely
There's
not.
absolutely nothing wrong with it.
The communication
there's a
should
point
be.
Where you can tell.
Yes.
There's a point where you can tell that you need to get that gate going, and this is it. You need to say, hey, Dodgy, can you just wait for him? I'll be back in lane. I'll aggress him. Come up. We get the kill on him. That's gonna be a lot of gold in both of our pockets. We go and invade their jungle, see what we can get.
I think already that communication has been made. Bears fan sitting a little bit worse for wear. Gonna have that healing to get himself right back up, but Nitty 145 spent a full 30 to 40 seconds over in that dual lane, which is gonna cause Banana Boys to respond. Excuse me. Banana Boy is responding by grouping up over in that left jungle. I think those oracles and that gold fury is something they want to get their hands on. Get this team as far ahead as possible, as fast as possible, and just end the game. Get to late game
and
and
need to reach
just
that
win.
9,000 mark. That 9,000 mark for a competent team is more than enough for them to steamroll to the end. I mean, the only thing that can really cost you after that is overconfidence.
Big damage coming out of Banana Boys right now. Stuns OTF gonna barely escape with his life. Thankful that he didn't die again to the hands of Bears fan 54, who had he hit that heart bomb definitely would have grabbed that kill there. I'm Gabs, definitely a little out of position here. 4 members of Banana Boys are definitely going to be able to pick up that kill. McNugget the Cat able to take that kill out of the hands of Bears fan, who would have been at 4-0-2, but instead puts McNugget the Cat at 1-0-1, trying to spread the wealth out a little bit.
You know, McNugget needs some Szechuan sauce.
McNugget needs some Szechuan sauce for sure. Good reference. That's a good reference. I'll take those references any day. That's a good one.
You know what? I think Wendy's should make that sauce right there.
Ooh, that'd be a huge clapback for sure. But so far, Banana Boy is looking pretty strong right now. Gold Fury going to be the call. The damage between Bears fan and McNugget should be enough to burn this Gold Fury down before SWT has a chance to respond. Already sitting below 50% health. Porting it down, and the first Gold Fury of the game is going the way of Banana Boys, who are sitting at 6-0 at the halfway through the 11-minute mark. Such a convincing game right now. Yes, go for it.
Go. Interesting thing, we have it set up now. It will show up on the Twitch, not on the YouTube. But if you subscribe to us on YouTube and quickly switch to our Twitch page, because I have Tyner streaming to the YouTube, you actually get to see it. We have cool little pop-ups for every time you subscribe. I just thought it was something we should mention.
Oh,
a little incentive to subscribe. Yeah, just cool little things. Wobble of a dub-dub, man.
Radical, man. Yeah, do subscribe. And better announcers are definitely coming. We've just had some interest. I haven't been able to come, and it's really hard to do it solo, for sure. And so we're hoping to get this announcing much more professionally done and start scheduling things a lot better, so to give the viewers a much more professional and thoroughly entertaining experience. That's what she said, right?
Right now I'm pretty much. I've been researching a lot of headphones for announcers.
Sure.
I've been trying to find out which ones will work with PlayStation, because certain ones don't work with PlayStation. And there's a set that I have ordered in the mail that have noise cancellation for the background noise, and if it works out really well, I'll suggest it to all announcers, and
Sure.
hopefully we'll get rid of it, whatever background noise or whatever.
I think the headset I have on right
background.
now is pretty good. It does some canceling of the background noise. I have my air conditioner running at full blast right next to me, and I don't even think it's picking that up.
But going into the game here, what do you think SWT thought about their opponent going to this game? Like we saw they did the research with the bans.
Yes, banning the call clearly means that they watched a few games, but I think coming to the game, they just wanted to see if they couldn't get some early advantages, and I think with Poseidon and Carnage, you get those early advantages. It just hasn't been correctly played, and the effectiveness hasn't been shown thus far. Bears fan actually going to go down to the hands of Stuns OTF, switching around the theme of that lane so far. Smutty Smurf, however, going to be diving that tower. The ultimate from I'm Gabs is going to hold him in it, and another kill going the way of SWT. I'm Gabs able to get his hands on that one. Interesting to see
it looked like it
that
was
happen.
the Ceranos, but the
It looked like he was going to get it, but
he
he came in and slapped him and grabbed the kill. So 2 kills going the side of Switch Gaming in one engagement. So a little bit of a slip on the side of Banana Boys, but not a huge deal, not a big loss. You're still confident about where you're standing right now, especially with the gold lead and kills lead that you have and the lanes that you have winning right now. But you don't want that to happen too often. Things could turn real quick.
So a quick question, Tyner. I know you don't play solo lane, but in your opinion, attack speed Bologna, relevant or irrelevant?
Depends. I think against a team that Bologna doesn't get countered by, I think characters like Osiris you don't want to go attack speed against. Characters like Chalk you don't want to go attack speed. But I think if you have somebody in your lane like a mage, or if there's a lot of squishy characters on the enemy team, you could have the luxury of building something like an Ichavolt and being able to just slap your opponents, and even a chin size could be pretty good too. But usually the builds that you'll see for something like that is a Frostbound Hammer in combination, just so that tanky warrior can just stick to you and rail you down with those auto attacks. I think the bludgeon, those hammer auto attacks the bludgeon auto attacks, excuse me, coming out of Bologna just hurt, and that AOE capability is also so strong.
And I think most pros
Japan
agree that
Gator in
Shogun
a
should always be on a team. Always be on a team for a warrior that attack speed, like because you can use it on Bologna. They just give her Shoguns, have the support pick up the Pestilence instead, and suddenly you're running around with this Bologna and support, just destroying everything.
Ultimate coming out of California is going to catch 2, and Nitty 145 as well as Japan Gator are both going to go down. Good job by California to find 2 with that first, able to stun 2 with his with the ultimate there, which will result in that right tower being mowed down. Over in that left lane, however, Bears fan maybe in a little bit of trouble here. Pushed up pretty far. No response so far out of Switch Gaming except for Stuns OTF to try and come behind him and see if he can't stop him, but I
mean, looking at this ult composition here, it's terrifying for SWT here because they have 2 very high-powered ults, 2 very high-powered characters that can hop over these walls out of the blue, and if you're not warded correctly, you have no idea they're coming. They're just going to engage on you. You could run away.
Fan able to get a kill over in that duel lane while I wasn't looking, obviously not worried about how far up he was pushed, and any response to Switch Gaming he was able to grab that, and while he was in that engagement over there, that Portal Demon was started and finished by Banana Boys. Objective control as well as map control, they're doing a very good job right now. 2 towers, a Gold Fury, which is going to be coming up soon. I think that's what Bears fan is going to look at right now. Probably going for those Oracles, which are unfortunately down and given to the side of Switch Gaming. But after that Vision despawns, I think the Gold Fury is going to be the call out of Banana Boys. They could even start it now if they wanted to and make a fight, force a fight to happen and win that and grab the Gold Fury, and it's looking like that will be the call. Already heading towards that Gold Fury and starting it up right now. The vision from the Oracles is no longer there, so if Switch didn't see this, they're probably going to be a little sorry about it. Immediately dropping the Gold Fury, though, is Banana Boys. Switch Gaming was very aware that they were doing that. Booby Block looking like he's going to be the initial target of this.
It's smart to take out that Poseidon if you can immediately.
Absolutely. Big damage coming out from all the characters right now. Just a big team fight. 8145 going to get chunked right now. Smutty Smurf able to use the bracer to keep himself alive. No clear first victim, but I'm Gabs is in a lot of trouble too. Nitty 145, lots of low health players right now. Smutty Smurf himself needs to be very careful, and Gabs actually able to pick that up as well. But Bears fan able to get an ultimate. Gabs going to fall down to that 1-to-1 so far. Under the tower right now, and charging is California. The ultimate coming out from Booby Black Gunna isn't going to land him any kills, but there's a couple of characters that are low on the side of Banana Boys. However, I think Switch Gaming is much worse for wear, which is probably going to result into their tier 1 tower falling as well. So now only 3 towers standing for Switch Gaming. That Gold Fury's still up, and they got to be careful not to lose that too.
I mean, that was, it looks like Switch Gaming, Banana Boys is just looking here for this, look for that Gold Fury bait. They knew that SWT has been keeping an eye on it, waiting for them to take it so that way they can engage, and they baited them into that to go take that and then go after they knew they'd push them back. They were confident in their team's ability. And they have a Bologna, they have a Ravana, they have very powerful characters that can do that. And they relied on that to win them the fight, get them that first tower, and get them that Gold Fury. It might have been their game plan all along. We don't really know because we're not in their party or in their team.
It was very, very, very well done by them because they baited that Gold Fury out. Switch Gaming responded, and initially the fight seemed super even, and I was going to compliment Switch Gaming on a really, really good Gold Fury defense. They took out Smutty Smurf, and it looked like it was in their hands, but Banana Boys had the damage online as well as the lead to push Switch Gaming back towards their tier 2 and into their fountain, which gave them that opportunity to go grab that Gold Fury, which was done like clockwork. So an obvious win for the side of Banana Boys, but good effort out of the side of Switch Gaming too.
There's the ult out of Cupid in left lane as he goes in on stun. Stun's pretty low here. Oh, prop base Bracer.
Aegis, yes, stuns did use Bracer to negate that damage, so slipping away with his life. Good for him. Japan Gator, however, over in that right lane. Smutty Smurf able to pick himself up a kill. I'm Gabs looking like he's going to be the next victim of this onslaught. Banana Boys grouped up as 4 over in that right lane. Down goes Gabs. California on a killing spree.
That Gab ult was beautiful. Hit 4 of them. If anyone had been around to capitalize on that, it would have been
absolutely phenomenal. I think had Nitty 145 been there with the 1000 cuts or whatever the hell that dumb ability is called, it definitely would have. Leave me alone. It definitely would have been a decent turnaround. He just temporarily saved his life and gave his teammates a little bit of time to get out, but unfortunately that's going to cost him a tier 2 on that right side, and that tier 2 on this left side is in a bit of danger here. However, with stuns running the lane and that lane and his minion wave not anywhere near it, Bears fan is going to go back to base and grab a couple items.
What do you think went wrong for SWT this game? Like, they had, I feel like their comp was good. They got the Serenos, they have the Gab, they have the Dodgy, they have the Amaterasu's doing pretty well. She could be doing a lot better. I mean, there's a few plays that she dropped, and it could have been better for her.
I think the first blood going the way of Bears fan is exactly what set the tone for the rest of the game. You take somebody like Kernernus and you put him on his heels, damn well knowing that he is he is the best hunter in the game. You have a character like Cupid who's doing well, and you also see in that mid lane very early the clear advantage is very obviously on the side of a Poseidon Dodgy versus a Soul as well as a Ravana. I think both Soul and Ravana have decent clear in their own respects, but the clear should have went the way of Switch Gaming, but they played too far back. They played too passive. They just weren't confident in their early game, and it cost them big sitting at 12-3 right now. Bears fan in a lot of trouble right now, forced to use the bees. The ultimate from stuns is going to come out. A little bit of damage is going to hit him, but the heal out of the Cupid is going to be enough to sustain him and able to slip away with his life, able to bait out 2 ultimates from Switch Gaming.
So essentially what I'm getting is the confidence. Confidence to come into this fight and know the basic abilities of their gods.
It just wasn't, I don't think it was, I just wish it would have been, I don't know what was discussed in comms, but I just don't think anybody pointed out that the clear advantage is on their side. Push up mid, get in their face. You have a Whirlpool. Well, he didn't have Whirlpool level 1, which I think is another mistake that he made, but you still have the better clear on the side of Switch Gaming, so you just push up, be confident, get in their face. I think a lot of teams that are that know that they're against a team that is arguably better than them, if they feel as if they're the worst team, they're going to play like it, and you gotta have to get it out of your mind that you're worse. You have to remember that everybody starts with 1500 gold at level 1. Everybody starts that way. So it's up to you how you use it and how much better you could be. A big team fight breaking out in the mid lane. I wish it wasn't so laggy so I could clearly see what's going on, but Nitty 145 looked like he was able to escape with his life, but a lot of damage from Banana Boys is going to discourage them from coming back and trying to say anything about that engagement.
Yeah, that's a problem that this game lags when you get in team fights sometimes. It's we need to work on that. They really need to work on that.
Stuns in a lot of trouble under that tier 2 with 4 members of Banana Boys on now 5 members of Banana Boys grouped up in that jungle, looking to see if they can't grab a Dia side or a couple kills and see if grab another tower to test a Portal Demon something. California in a
carry,
little bit of
would you
trouble here.
reckon,
Go for it.
as a carry, what would you recommend to that Serenos there? Like, what would you recommend he change? I mean, the first blood and these kills. I mean, he's gotten a kill, right? He was
Just
involved
no,
in
I
another
think he
kill.
just didn't. Cupid isn't picked often, and Cupid is not the best hunter. Cupid is arguably one of the lower tier hunters. However, against somebody like Coronados, he actually does a lot better. So I think Stuns just made the mistake of thinking that he was the better god in the matchup, and he was better early, which he wasn't. Early game, Cupid had it, and that ultimate is going to tear him apart early, especially because he could burn active so well, and you have the mobility not online when he does that. So I think he just needed to be smarter in that early game and try and just farm more than fight. Try and just get an advantage in other ways. I think fighting Cupid was not the answer for him. Even if it did go his way one time, I don't think it was quite worth it. A tower is actually going to go the way of Switch Gaming here. That middle lane tower falling from Banana Boys.
And there's that Cupid over in left lane. He's trying to get that stun. Stun's getting chunked by Cupid hitting so hard.
Hitting very hard at a 3-level advantage with a couple of items extra. Stuns OTF, unfortunately, pretty far down right now. That heart bomb gonna land, and I think that's definitely gonna be a death sentence for Stuns OTF. No, not quite enough damage. The shield to come out from Gabs to ensure his life, but the heart bomb wasn't quite enough damage, which is surprising.
Maybe not been. Doesn't the passive add extra damage if you charge it?
It will, if you have the passive online, the heart bomb will stun them. Or it will mesmerize them, excuse me, it'll mez them.
Yeah, I thought it stunned them.
It's a mez, because as soon as you do damage to them, they're able to move again. Booby Black gonna be the victim. That shield not gonna do a damn thing. California able to pick up that kill as well as the next one. Stuns OTF also gonna fall. Japan Gator gonna be his third of the triple kill for California. Probably gonna be looking for another one here.
Terrifying, that one.
Absolutely. Not going to be able to find a quadra kill here, but a triple kill going the way of California on that Bologna, showing off how good that pick is. I think after Gabs goes down, you have full permission to start aggressing onto that Titan, and that's going to be the call here. Attack the Titan from Banana Boys. Switch Gaming on their heels here. Nitty 145 is going to be the only one standing between Banana Boys and a victory, and unfortunately that wall is about as strong as paper. Nitty 145 standing in the well. Taking a bunch of damage, not quite dying, but I don't think anything's going to stop Banana Boys. Right now, that Titan's sitting at about 50% health, going down to 35%. A D aside for them. Booby Black on actually spawned, able to get himself a couple of kills.
But it's not enough. Humanity
not going to be enough. Banana Boys able to grab game 1 from Switch Gaming, 19-5.
What went wrong? Like, just the early game? I think the early game said you said the early game said the whole tone for the game. I can totally agree with that, but what could they have done to change that? Like, like, there was a point, I feel, well, SWT was starting to get on a roll. They had momentum.
Sure.
But then they lost.
I think they had little things that went well, little engagements, and I think that's where it starts, is you just start getting the little things down and get the little things to go your way. It's just, you let somebody like Smutty Smurf, as well as Bears fan, who was just on a rampage that entire game. You have a lot of characters on the side of Banana Boys that just outright beat the characters on the side of SWT, but I think they simply didn't use Poseidon and Coronados to their full potential. The early game just killed them. Dodgy also didn't do too well in her own respect.
I mean, she has the potential to do well. It's all there. The buffs are there. The damage is there. I just don't know what went wrong. I mean, their jungler is very competent. We've seen him do very well many a time, regardless of the god. But what went wrong? I just don't know. We can only go into game two and really hope SWT took away, knows what they did wrong,
Absolutely,
and are able to fix it.
All right, we'll be back with game 2 in just a second.